Raider D here at the Raider D podcast, chilling with you guys on a Wednesday night. We have a lot of things to talk about. We're going to be talking about my favorite quarterbacks coming up in this draft season. The ones that I think that's going to be likely and the ones that are probably not going to be likely for the Raiders. However, there's an interesting little tidbit of news that is coming out, and that is that the Raiders are going to be interviewing a particular quarterback. And this is interesting because teams only get so many slots that they can do interviews with of these players. So the fact that we are going to be interviewing one of these players is pretty interesting. So stick around because we're going to be getting into that and more on tonight's show of the Raider D podcast. But before we do that, we're going to start the show off right with Raiders just win, baby. It's how we start off every single show. Tonight is not going to be any difference, but we're going to be having a cup of coffee, talking with the Raider Nation about your Las Vegas Raiders. As a matter of fact, go ahead and strap up the right way here. You know what I'm saying? Represent. God bam. Pull out the Raider hat. For the Raider D podcast. Cup of coffee and the nation. What is going on? Well, you know what I need to do? Nation, I need to pull up the chat box. Let's get it going. And no, I don't need to do the overlay because in this format, we don't have to do that. So if you are a Raiders fan, jump down into that chat box right now and hit me with a nice big fat Raiders. Raider Nation for life. 100%. We are in the house and excited to be here with the Raider Nation. Raider Nation, I want to know from you guys down below in the comments, who is your favorite quarterback prospect in the 2024 NFL Draft? Because we're going to be talking about that tonight. So I want to get the Raider Nation input on what we're going to be, who we're going to be drafting. All right, there's some little tidbits, some information that's been popping out from Tom Telesco, from Coach AP. So we're going to be jumping into all of that tonight and more. So make sure that you stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. You know what to do. Ain't nothing like a nice hot cup of coffee on a cold, wintry day. And it is a bit chilly where I'm at right now. Raider Nation, hit me in those comments right now. Also, tell me where you are at. Where are you watching the program from tonight? Are you in Killer Cali? Are you in Colorado? Are you in Texas? Are you in New York City? Where is the Raider Nation watching tonight? Hit me in those comments, guys. Let's get it rolling. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff right there. Yes, sir. Raiders. Raider Nation for life. 23 people in the house. What is going on? Congrats and salute to everybody that is joining us today. Let's see where's everybody at with those comments, man. Jump in on those comments. Let me know where you at. Where you at? Where are you watching the program from? Are you in Cali? Are you in New York? We got Los Angeles, Cali in the house. Mario, that's what I'm talking about. What's up, Jim? He is in Cali. That's my birthplace. Miss it, but it is difficult to live in Cali nowadays. Tell you what, I hope you guys are doing good out there. I know I just seen a report about somebody is, they're making like $100,000 a year and they still can't pay all their bills. Ryan Johnson, born in the Bay, baby. Yay, yay. Got a fellow Bay brother in the house. Let me pull up this. All right, Raider Nation, I want you guys hit me down in these comments below. Give me your top 3 QBs in the draft right now. Who is your top 3 QBs? Because the Raiders are interviewing a particular player. Now, again, as I said earlier, you only get so many interviews at the combine. So when you request an interview, you are killing one of your slots. It's going to be interesting. if you guys have not heard the news yet of who one of the players that we're going to be interviewing, it's going to blow your mind. And to me, it's either a telltale sign of something to come, or it's the Raiders front office blowing smoke to the NFL because we're trying to hide what we're really trying to do. So I'm interested to see what you guys think about that. What is going on? OIC in the house in Vegas right now. So OIC, do you live in Vegas right now? Or are you just visiting right now? D, do you think it would take up to three? Up to three? You mean that we would trade up to 3 and get Daniels? That's my hope. That is my hope that we get Daniels, and I think most likely, best case scenario is we get him from the Patriots. That would be fire, man. If we get Jaden Daniels, we're gonna be on fire, brother. 100%. I mean, but let's get into it. I mean, we're at 50 people now, so let me just switch over here so I can make sure everything is good. How's the volume? Volume is good. I've switched to a new program because the other program had too much lag. I think this one is going to be better. So you guys let me know down there in the comments if the volume is sounding sweet. Visiting family, OIC. Perfect. So your brother lives down there? Oh man, we're trying to get down there, man. We are trying to get down there this year. That is going to be the business if we can get down there. Hopefully we'll be down there for moved and everything come first week of the season. Yes. So who do you guys want, man? Who do you guys want? Give me your top 3 down in the thing. What's going on, Robert? I hope you're having a good day, Robert. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling cup half full today, brother? Because you know sometimes you just be showing up to the podcast and you be cup half empty, man. So I'm hoping you had a great day. You're feeling the vibe. You're feeling the positivity that I'm just projecting through the TV screen to you. And we're gonna have a great season, man. 2024, we're gonna have a great season. Now I want to jump into some of these things that has been starting to come out, and again, it's just trickling out right now. But good, Robert. It's all good. Yes, sir. All right, nice. Let's get rolling. Okay, Jim says, what do I think it'll cost to get up to 3? Let's get into that real quick. I think to get up to 3, it's gonna cost us 3 first-round draft picks. To go from 13 to 3, it's probably going to cost us 3 first-round draft picks, and that's my preferred. I would prefer to give up 3 draft round picks, so this year's and then 2 additionals, especially if we're really good, right? If we get Jaden Daniels and we're hitting playoffs and stuff, then we're giving up a back-end first-round draft pick, so it isn't even that big of a deal. I mean, it is, but it's not as painful as giving up the farm. But I think you just give up 3 first round draft picks, and that's it to move from 13 to 3. Now, if you look at what Houston did, moving into 3 from 12 to 3 to get back in the top 5, theirs wasn't that bad, right? So I think that we could do that with 3 first round draft picks. Second option would be 2 first round draft picks, a second and a third, or 2 seconds. Now, I don't like that option. To be honest with you, I don't like that option because I'd rather keep those second-round draft picks, especially for this year, because we have some holes to fill on the offensive line. Right tackle, guard, center, all those guys are free agents. Now, speaking of that, and Tom Telesco was caught by Hondo Carpenter and a couple of the other guys. I think it was Vinny was there. And he was asked about that, and he said, we have some holes to fill because we have 3 free agents from the offensive line, so we got to get those replacements in. That's funny that he didn't say, we have 3 potential free agents and we're trying to lock those guys back up. He said we got to fill those holes. That tells me that we're not intending on re-signing Illuminor, Van Rotten, or Andre James. I mean, let me know that. Am I having the off-season jitterbug going on, or are you guys reading the same thing? To me, when a general manager says, we got some holes to fill because we have 3 free agents, basically saying they're leaving the team, right? When he talked about Josh Jacobs being a free agent, he made clear to say, we're doing everything we can to bring him back. But when he was talking about the offensive line free agents, he's talking about replacements in the draft, right? So that's pretty telling to me that we're not bringing those guys back. All right, so Scott says we got Bo Nix and JJ. Robert, yes, sir. Jeffrey, salute. Perry in the house. Number one priority is quarterback. Do whatever it takes. Get Jaden Daniels, build up the O-line and D-line, and cornerback in the free agency. Agreed, that's a good plan, right? I love that plan. I love Jaden Daniels. Now, if you look at what, I forget his name, but he's from PFF. He just did an interview with our guy from the Raiders podcast earlier. Man, I'm having a brain fart right now. But he was saying that, Caleb Williams is leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else that is being talked about. And so he's including Jaden Daniels in that conversation, that all of them have something good to work with, but he doesn't think that any of them are a top 10 quarterback outside of Caleb Williams. And so right after I seen that interview, I then see Tom Telesco talking about not bringing back the free agents from the offensive line. And right after I hear that conversation, then I find out that we are using one of our interview selections, because you only have a limited number of them, but we will be interviewing Caleb Williams. Now, if you're completely out of the running of getting Caleb Williams, if we're more interested in Jaden Daniels, wouldn't you want to spend your time or in your slot, your allotted slot to interview these guys? Wouldn't you want to spend that with Jaden Daniels, who's more reasonable that you would get him instead of Caleb Williams? Or is it that Tom Telesco and the rumors that we've talked about on this podcast that have been coming out that the Raiders are actually not as interested in Justin Fields as we all thought at first, but in fact, the backdoor conversations going on between the Raiders and the Bears are for that number 1 overall draft pick. Tom Telesco said it, like he's not, nothing's off the table, right? A deal is going to be made in some way, some form or fashion for something. What that is, if the price is right and the player is right, he is totally game for moving up in the draft, but he's also game for moving back in the draft. It's all going to depend. There's a lot of variables that are going to be at play, but it could very well be that the Raiders are, in fact, intending on trading for that flashy quarterback. And look, here's the thing. The owner, Mark Davis, he's not one of those owners. He's not a Jerry Jones, right? He's not super involved in draft selections and stuff like that. He might have a guy he likes here and there, but he doesn't actually get too involved. Not like his dad, not like Al did. Al was super involved. Mark Davis has said it too many times. I want to hire people to do their job. I'm a fan first, right? However, we do know that Mark Davis wants a flashy quarterback. He may not be 100% okay with Aiden O'Connell. He may be telling Telesco, I don't care what you got to do. I'll sign off on it. I don't care what you got to do. Go get Caleb Williams. I want Caleb Williams. I want the flashy quarterback. I want the guy that's going to bring in hundreds of millions of dollars in sales for jerseys and stuff. Go get him. And so, in my opinion, I'm thinking that it's very real possibility, Nation, that we're actually going to go and end up with Caleb Williams. Now, I've said it before on this podcast. I'm not super high on Caleb Williams. Athletically, he is a beast. I think he is dynamic. I think if he continues to progress and become even a better quarterback than he is now, there's not going to be too many players in the NFL that could hang with him. You would have very few. You'd have Lamar Jackson. You'd have, obviously, Patrick Mahomes. Maybe Josh Allen if he stays healthy. Maybe a Justin Herbert if he stays healthy. There's not a whole lot of quarterbacks that could keep up with the dynamism. I think I just said that completely wrong. But he's a very dynamic player, and I don't think there's a lot of people that could do that. So it is the fact that we're going to be interviewing Caleb Williams and using up one of those interview slots on a quarterback that otherwise we would have no shot of getting. Is that really telling? Because one of the things about it is, if you're intending on trying to move up and draft Caleb Williams, you want to interview him. Because of all of the drama behind his family and rumors coming out and some of his maybe insecurities and emotional issues and stuff like that have been out there, is you're going to trade the farm for a guy like that. You want to make sure that he's going to be a good fit for the Raider culture. And so you have to interview him. You have to, right? Because if you don't, and then you draft him, and then he turns out to be a complete train wreck, then you lose your job. So I think the fact that we're interviewing Caleb Williams is pretty telling that the Raiders may actually, not like the smoke, may actually have some fire under it about us having backdoor conversations with the Bears about what it's going to take to move to number one. What do you guys think about that? What do you think, Nation? Let's see. Zach Wilson to the Raiders for a 6th round pick. Make it happen, Tom. No, we don't want Zach Wilson. For what? I mean, it's already rumored that we're going to get Sam Darnold. Again, these guys are just going to, be cheap backups, third stringers, because they've never been anything. His stick stepper, what's going on? Walaikum salam, brother. How are you? Hope you are doing good out there, Akhi. Yes, sir. Hot Beavers is in the house. Salute, my brother. Hot's going to be on the program Friday, so you guys make sure that you tune in for that. The Jets are also looking to trade Zach Wilson. No, we're not interested. Perry Stevenson, yeah. Nope, we don't want that. Perry thinks that Jaden and Drake are better. I agree with you potentially on Jaden Daniels. They're two different quarterbacks, essentially. If you compare them, Jaden Daniels is more Lamar Jackson. Caleb Williams is more Patrick Mahomes. Which one is better? Well, it really depends on the system that you put them in. Now, as far as Drake May goes, no. Drake May is not even in the same. To me, Drake May is not even in the same conversation with either one of them. The fact that so many boards have Drake May above Jaden Daniels just irritates the heck out of me. It's stupid. I'm just going to straight up say it. There's no way in no universe that Drake May is better than Jaden Daniels. No universe where that actually exists. All right? Okay, you want to jump into some make-believe Marvel universe? It still wouldn't exist. It's just not possible. Jaden Daniels is a much better quarterback. He has better arm talent. and he's superiorly gifted athletically. So how would anybody ever think that Drake May could possibly be better than Jaden Daniels? Now, is Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams, who's better than that? I don't think that you could say one's better than the other, because they're two different quarterbacks who excel at being the quarterback that they are, right? I believe Drake May is going to be a good quarterback. But I don't think Drake May is going to have a better career than either Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels. I just don't see it. I think Drake May could have a good career. He could even be a Super Bowl champion at some point if he goes to the right team and is on the right system. But Drake May could also end up like Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Bryce Young. It's all these guys that should not have been top 5 quarterbacks or even top 10 quarterbacks. That, to me, that's a Drake May. I think Drake May is a late first round quarterback at best. I think he could be probably better in the second round, would be better. Now, with that being said, to be honest, if you're just going to look at like numbers, production, all of that stuff, then, you got to throw Bo Nix into it. You got to throw J.J. McCarthy into it for accuracy, for touchdowns to interceptions, for all of these different things that are superior to Drake May's numbers. Now, numbers don't make a quarterback, because you could be Bo Nix, get to the NFL, and be Zach Wilson, right? There's a lot more intangibles that go into it than just numbers. Like Michael Penix Jr. doesn't have as great of numbers, accuracy-wise, as Bo Nix. Who would I take? If I'm just talking, like, that's the quarterback that I want on the team to throw the ball 40 yards down the field, to make all the throws, I'm probably going to go Michael Penix Jr. But if it's also, I don't have the greatest of offensive line, don't know if I could protect Michael Penix Jr., then I would probably take Bo Nix, right? I think that they're both very capable quarterbacks that could have good careers. And because they're not the number 1 consensus, the number 2 consensus, the number 3 consensus, they don't have the pressure on them. And that's something that a lot of people miss, is that when you're the number 1 guy, or like if you're the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, you're the number 1 draft pick. Oftentimes guys can't deal with the pressure of that, and they're hesitant, and that hesitancy destroys their game. But when you're coming on with a chip on your shoulder, I think a Spencer Rattler would be a great pickup. Even if you're not picking Spencer Rattler up to be day 1 QB1, week 1 QB1, that's not why you grab a Spencer Rattler. You grab a Spencer Rattler because he's been on some big programs. He's been bounced around, had to restart his career, so he's battled through adversity. And the guy can throw off platform. He's got legs. He's mobile. He just didn't have the weapons like Jaden Daniels had, like Caleb Williams had. Maybe if he had those types of receivers, he would have had more passing yards, more touchdowns. But the interesting thing about him is you can pick him up in a 3rd round. It doesn't really cost you that much. And all of a sudden, after maybe him sitting on the bench for a year behind an AOC, he's progressed to the point where he's ready to be QB1, and he gives you a level of dynamic play that a Michael Penix Jr. can't give you. So I think it's an interesting thing to think about when we're talking about these quarterbacks is, what about a Spencer Rattler in the 3rd round? Not a guy that you're drafting to take over your team right away, like if you draft Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels or even a Drake May. But he doesn't have the pressure on him. So, and he doesn't cost much. Got my boy Western Conference in the house, dropping the $2 super chat. Salute, showing some support. Let's go. And for everybody that is in the live right now, if you do not know who this man is, Western Conference, this is my boy. He's going to be on the show on Saturday, so make sure that you guys tune into that. But Western has a YouTube channel all dedicated to the Raiders. He does excellent player breakdown. Please go and subscribe to his channel, boost up his numbers, watch his videos, like his videos, because he be putting out some really hitting analysis. I love it. He does a great job. And, you know, all of us in the Raider Nation and in the YouTube creators of Raiders, we're all striving to bring excellence to the Raider Nation, because maybe you don't have 10 hours a day to commit to following everything that Tom Telesco says like I do, or Antonio Pierce, or studying up on players or looking at stats all day. And so that's what we're doing for the nation. We're bringing that value to the nation. So this man right here is doing that while working a full-time job. So go and show Western Conference some love. His wife is a school teacher, and he works for the school district. So let's support our educators out there and the people that support the school system, because it's super integral. Much love to my boy Western in the house. Go and show him some love, guys, for sure. After you get done watching this video. All of a sudden, I got like 10 people viewing because everybody just went and subscribed. No, but much love to my boy Western, man. He puts out some popping videos. Again, he's going to be on the broadcast on Saturday. My boy Hot Beavers will be here Friday, so we'll be doing two for the price of one, right? Because I know sometimes, man, you guys get so mad at me at my positions that I take. Man, it's good to have another voice that takes an opposite position to me, and then that way you guys can all gang up on me. I love it. Perry, what's going on? Michael's in the house also. I see you, brother. Number one priority QB. Do whatever it takes. Get Jaden Daniels, but up the O-line, D-line, and CB in free agency. Didn't I already read that one? I swore I already read that one. Robert says, look like ESPN said we are getting the DT from Texas. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, I've seen everything from Jerzon Newton to Byron Murphy Jr. to McKinstry to, I mean, just all over the map, man. Right tackle of J.C. Latham. All of these different boards, and I have my own opinions on what we're going to do. Look, let's be honest, man. Nobody knows the future. Only God knows the future. None of us talking heads on social media, ESPN, Fox News, no matter how much millions of dollars you're getting paid, none of that matters. At the end of the day, it's Tom Telesco and Coach Antonio Pierce. They're the only ones when it comes draft time who really know what we're going to do. All we can do at this point is speculate, and it's a lot of fun. That's why I sit here every night and do this speculation with you guys. Not because I have a crystal ball and I know for sure what we're going to do. I just look at all the different signs that are being put out. Again, because I do have a little bit more freedom of sitting here and studying this stuff. To me, it looks like there's really the line of thinking with Tom Telesco is this. And I think Mark Davis is in his ear saying, get me a dynamic quarterback. But I think the line of thinking of Tom Telesco and Coach Antonio Pierce is we really like Jaden Daniels. And maybe Tom Telesco really likes Caleb Williams, and AP really likes Jaden Daniels and AOC. But either way, it appears as though Tom Telesco is intent on moving up if it's available, if it's possible. And that's a big if, because there are a bunch of teams ahead of us who also want to do this, right? So with that being said, The other line of thinking is if it's not possible for us to move up and get a dynamic quarterback out of the draft, then we sit put and take the best player on the board to really help improve the team overall. And maybe we trade for a Justin Fields or even a Russell Wilson as a bridge, and then we try again next year. To me, that seems to be the line of thinking there. Number one priority is to move up and get that dynamic quarterback. But look, even if we offer the farm to Chicago, there's no guarantee the Chicago will move off of the number one pick. And if they don't move off the number one pick, then we know it's highly likely that both Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are going to be gone pick 1 and 2. Very, very high possibility. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I don't see Washington taking Drake May over the Heisman Trophy winning phenomenal quarterback Jaden Daniels. I don't see that. Reality is Jaden Daniels won the Heisman for a reason. And anybody that would take Drake May, and this is the NFL, there are dumb GMs who don't do dumb things, but that would be like passing on, like the 31 teams who passed on Lamar Jackson. I think everybody in the NFL learned that lesson the hard way, and all of them regretted it. Even Baltimore passed on him because they had 2 first-round draft picks. So their first first-round draft pick, I think they used on offensive linemen or something. And then they used their second first-round draft pick to grab Lamar Jackson. So everybody's learned their lesson with that. Marcus is in the house. Salute to you. I see one of the quarterbacks being available in the second round. I don't know which one are you talking about. Kevin, let's see what you got. Do you believe in the NFL is scripted? So I actually put a poll out, got several thousand votes on it as to whether the NFL is fake or real. And the majority did say that they now believe that the NFL is fake. Here's what I'm going to say on that. I believe that the NFL top brass have a responsibility to run a multi-billion-dollar organization. And they need, like any corporation, they need to make sure that their stockholders, i.e., the 32 owners or 31 owners, and then Green Bay's got a weird thing going on where it's like the city of Green Bay that has a part ownership in the fan base. But the owners need, they're the shareholders, and they need to be kept happy. And you keep them happy by keeping the money flowing in. And so I think that they have an obligation. I think that they, not an obligation, but I think that they have an incentive to make sure that certain teams are going to be in the Super Bowl run, because those teams are going to bring in the most views, the most eyeballs. And like I've said it before, without a dynasty, the NFL doesn't make as much money as it does. It's why the NFL has always had dynasties. The San Francisco 49ers were a dynasty when I was growing up. The Cowboys were a dynasty. You look at the Patriots, dynasty. Now you got the KC dynasty. Does it mean that KC is going to win every single Super Bowl? No, Tom Brady didn't win every single Super Bowl. But what it does mean is there are some teams that are going to get favoritism, and we have seen that over and over and over again, where Maxx Crosby, like I've said, could literally get 30-plus sacks a year if referees would just do their job and call holding when he's literally being clotheslined on national TV and they're not throwing flags. So with that being said, I don't believe that it's scripted, like you're going to throw this pass and then you're going to make this touchdown and the score is going to be this. But I think the referees absolutely do play a part in making sure that certain teams win. And I'm going to be very honest. After 9/11, we had a team called the Patriots go to the Super Bowl, beat us in the AFC Championship game on a rule that nobody had ever heard of before called the tuck rule. And the refs basically gave that game. Now, granted, they gave the ball back to the Patriots when it was clearly a fumble. And the Patriots still had to drive down and score their game-winning, I believe it was field goal, right? It's been a long time. They still had to do that in the snow, but the refs certainly helped them. And then you heard it from the St. Louis Rams at the time, after the Super Bowl loss to the Patriots. They were pissed. They were like, we were clearly the better team out there. And there was implications that the referees made sure the Patriots won their first Super Bowl right after 9/11. Everybody's flying American flags. Everybody's feeling patriotic. And you have the Patriots win the biggest game in the world next to the World Cup. Was that scripted? No. But was it helped? You be the judge. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think that game was scripted, rigged, helped by the refs? Me, I think the refs absolutely made sure that there was a team called the Patriots with a quarterback called Tom Brady who won that thing. And they felt like, it was the thing to do because everything was about patriotism. I mean, they even named a bill in Congress giving the federal government the ability to spy on every single American, something that is super unconstitutional, and they named it the Patriot Act. Like the most unpatriotic bill Congress has ever passed, and a slap in the face to the American people. They call it the Patriot Act. So I think the NFL is the same way. It's an organization that is in charge of billions of dollars worth of merchandise, product, tickets, on and on and on. And because of that, the refs are probably instructed to say, make sure you lean in the favor this way when you're throwing those calls. We know basketball is basically that. And I've said this before. When the Supreme Court said it was okay to gamble on the internet on any sports you want, and you didn't have to physically go down to Las Vegas to do it anymore, that all of a sudden the refereeing in all major sports was going to be affected. Because who's to say that these part-time refs that are reffing these NFL games for players who are making tens of millions of dollars a year, do you think the referees are making that much money? No, they are not. You think there might be a little jealousy with some of these guys? Human nature. So maybe one of them says, hey, Uncle Tom, put $50,000 on KC tonight to win by 5 or win by 10 or win by 13, right? And then they go and they ref the game and the score comes out that way because they threw a holding call or they didn't throw a holding call or an offsides, wasn't an offsides. It's a problem. It's been addressed to the NFL. It's been questioned to Roger Goodell just in his presser just before the Super Bowl. He was pressed about it again. And he said, basically, hey, we're not the Supreme Court. Nothing we can do about it. But we take it very seriously. It's a problem. It's a problem. But what are we going to do? I mean, we still got to watch our team. Even if we know the refs are probably going to be against us. There's just not much that you can do about it. I mean, we can complain. But other than that, not a lot that we can do. Alpacalypse in the house. Yes, we got some bots in the house. I know. We got Nob Mossberg in the house. Let me see if I can do that from here. Okay, I got one of them out of here. Yeah, like March Madness, the NBA is like terrible when it comes to the refereeing. Like, I don't even watch the NBA anymore. It's just not even fun to watch. Like, back in the day with Jordan and Kobe in his early days and stuff, those were fun games to watch. But nowadays, it's just the NBA is a joke. They're losing fan base like crazy. It's just become a circus. I hope that doesn't happen to the NFL, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Oh, man. Joel, do you think Davante will leave anytime soon? All right, so this is one thing that I wanted to talk about, Joel. This is one thing I wanted to talk about. See if you guys see this. Now, Tom Telesco said, and this was a very, again, interesting thing as you're looking at what these guys are talking about. But he said, we love Davante. He's not going anywhere. He's definitely going to be here for 2024. He has a couple more years on his contract after 2024. Why did you only say just 2024? But at the end of the day, let's see. I mean, if we're really going to try and trade up with the Bears and get Caleb Williams, it's not going to be just draft picks. And we couldn't do that anyway because they would want too much. They would want at least 4 first-round draft picks, 3 seconds, and maybe something else, right? Tack's got to go. Peace out. Thank you for being here, Tack. Appreciate you. Maybe you throw in a Davante Adams. Maybe you do, right? Maybe you throw in a Davante Adams in a trade like that. Now, look, the cap hit for Davante is the highest out of any receiver in the NFL, so there's that issue. But as far as the team receiving him, it's not going to be as bad. So it could be one of those situations where you go to the Bears and you say, hey, we'll give you Davante Adams, and they may require something else, but we'll give you Davante Adams and, 3 first-round draft picks, and we'll just call it good. And now all of a sudden, you have DJ Moore and Davante Adams to roll with Justin Fields. It's a possibility. And as much as I love Davante Adams, I would not be mad at the Raiders for going and getting their quarterback and trading a 32-year-old wide receiver. No issues whatsoever would I have with that. Tack says, Tack Airsoft, can I please get a shout out? Sure. I got you. Tack Airsoft. Is your channel about airsoft? I love airsoft. That's so much fun. I'll have to check you out, Tack. I will check you out. But he's got a channel, right? Tack Airsoft. So if you guys want to check out his channel, I'll throw a shout out to people. I got no problem. Star Wars Maniac in the house saying hi. Hello. How are you, Star Wars Maniac? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, no problem, Tack. I got you, man. Jason S., what's up from New Hampshire? In the house. I have never been to New Hampshire. I think the farthest I ever got was Chicago, Illinois for a short little trip. Robert says, I like that trade and give Renfro. I don't know if they'd want to take Renfro unless we like agreed to pay for his salary or something. Because that's a pretty big cost for the Bears. And I don't know if they would need that, but I wouldn't be mad about that. Now, obviously, if we do that, we got to hit the second and third round pretty tough, and we're going to have to replace with receivers because now we're just basically down to Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. And I don't know that now Jacoby Myers could be a true number one wide receiver on just about any team. So I have no issue whatsoever that if Davante Adams goes down, gets traded, retires, whatever were to happen to him, that as long as we got Jacoby Myers on the team, we're still in good position wide receiver wise as far as the number one, right? But then we just got to fill in the holes for wide receiver number two, our slot, all of that we'd have to do some work on. Apocalypse. In 2019, Jaden Daniels originally committed to Stanford, but decommitted to play with AP in Arizona State. Yep, I heard the same thing. They do have a good connection. AP knows the family very well. The family has a ton of respect for AP. I think I am almost guaranteeing you that if it's up to Coach Antonio Pierce, who's going to be the quarterback in 2024, it's going to be Jaden Daniels. If we can get him. But Tom Telesco may have other plans. And there have been reports coming out that when it comes to quarterback, they do have a difference of opinion. Tom wants to go one way, and Coach wants to go another way. And then here's another thing. Tom was asked by Hondo today when they caught him going somewhere, and they just did an impromptu interview of him about the synergy between him and Coach AP. And I don't know a lot of people if they noticed this or not, but Tom said, "No, we're not there yet. Like everything's great, but we're not there yet as far as like the synergy." And so I think there's a little bit of a crack in the philosophy of how this first draft may go. And so for that, I'm just a little bit worried. But at the end of the day, it's Tom Telesco's job. Joel says he just subscribed, everybody. Big Joel, another subscriber to the Raider D podcast. Much love to you, brother. Raiders. Yes, sir. Let's go. Connor the King, 100. 100. Banks, no way, 45 mil for Cousins. Yeah, I agree with that. Eric says Hondo Carpenter was heated today when he got into a fight. The Bills fan TMZ reported. Hondo Carpenter got into a fight? With what? A Dairy Queen spoon? Sorry, Hondo, man. I'm sorry. You just don't look like the type of guy that gets into a street brawl. You ain't Cam Newton, man. Robert says, I see Bo Nix. You know what? Like I said, man, I think that if you take a Bo Nix, if you take a J.J. McCarthy, if you take Michael Penix Jr., if you take any of these guys, in my opinion, late first round, early second round, I'm not going to be mad at it as long as we don't have to give up anything for them. If we trade up to get a Bo Nix or a JJ or Penix, I will be super hot. But I don't see Tom Telesco doing that. If that's the case, he's going to let them fall to us at 13. That's been his drafting style in the past. But I think he's under a little bit of pressure to get it done this year. And that's either going to be Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels. Austin in the house. There's only a handful of true number one receivers in the whole league, and more than half the teams in the league don't have a number one. People throw that number one receiver tag on just about anyone. Well, I will throw that tag on one guy, and that's Jacoby Myers. Just look at what he did last year as a number two. I mean, he was balling out of control. And the thing about Jacoby Myers is he gives you so much more than what just a traditional wide receiver gives you. And you can go and you can look at a multitude of coaches and players who have said the same thing, that this dude is insane. He will go and crack block for you, and he actually enjoys it. He has fun. He likes it. So he's a great blocker. He can literally throw touchdowns. He threw one this year or last year. As far as his route running, it's fantastic. As far as his speed, I mean, if you're talking about like superstar number one wide receiver, sure, there's only a handful of those. I agree with that. But could he step in and be the number one wide receiver with the Raiders? Yeah, for sure. Mitsu, if Brandon Ayuk is free agent, we should snatch him. He's not going to be a free agent. He's under contract with the 49ers. Now, he's trying to get out from under that. He's made it super clear that he wants to come play for the Raiders. There's no doubt about that. But it would be very difficult to get Brandon Ayuk. We would have to sell the farm to get him to the 49ers. I mean, it's good. There's no way you're getting Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers for anything short of a first round and a player. You know what I'm saying? Because he is a first round caliber quarterback who is wide receiver who is also a Pro Bowler, played in the Super Bowl, phenomenal, and he's younger. So with that being said, we're not getting him. I would love it. I made a video about it. It would be fantastic to have Brandon Ayuk on one side of the ball and Davante Adams on the other, and then Jacoby Myers in the slot and Trey Tucker running those deep routes. That would be dangerous. I think even AOC in his second year being a fourth round guy out of Purdue could get us possibly deep into the playoffs with a wide receiver core like that. And then if you have a good run game to back that up in a top 5 defense, yeah, we're making a run this year, even with AOC. You know what I mean? Raider Ryan in the house. Salute Nation. What's going on? Man, you know, it's just a Wednesday night, having a cup of coffee with the Raider Nation. Talking about, some quarterback stuff. You know what I mean? Getting that quarterback stuff in, going. Guys, if you're brand new to the channel, this is the Raider D Podcast. We are the fastest growing Raiders podcast content on YouTube. We have literally added almost 2,000 subscribers in the past 40 days, which is phenomenal. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Raider D family because we bring daily content, any breaking news, the podcast, as well as we will be going live during the draft, and we'll be going live each and every Raiders game day, pre-game, during game, and post-game reactions. So if you guys don't want to miss out on that, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and ride with your boy, the Raider D, here at the Raider D Podcast. Got some exciting news that's going to be coming down the pike for the Raider D Podcast. Not going to announce it today, but we got some things in the works that is going to up the game several notches on the Raider D Podcast that is going to be coming to you for the 2024 regular season. So we're excited about that, but I don't want to spoil it yet. Once we get all the kinks worked out and the contracts and everything, you're going to see a whole different level of the Raider D Podcast. So guys, be prepared for that. Make sure you subscribe because the content is going to be fire. Jose Jara in the house. Raider Nation for life. Yes, sir. You know what was great today, man? I was driving to an appointment, and I rolled by a cat that's standing at the bus stop, and he's got his Raider jacket on, rocking the Raiders hat. You know what I mean? And I'm driving by, and I just roll down the window and just Raiders, and you know what I mean? And he hears it, and he looks at the truck, and he's like, Raiders. That's what I love about the Raider fan base, man. Like you if you would do that, I don't know, to like a 49ers fan or something, that if you go 49ers, they'd probably look at you like, who is this guy? What does he think he is, yelling out of his truck like that? Don't you know that we don't do that in the 49er world? But boy, when you say it to a Raider fan, it's like, Raiders! Yeah! I love it, man. The energy that we bring, the nation is unlike any other football fan base in the world. You know what I mean? In the world. Looking forward to the new content. Oh, yeah, me too, bro. Me too. It's going to be fire. It's going to be fire. Like I'm saying, I'm not going to give it away, but you guys are going to see the results here real soon as we start rolling this stuff out. It's going to be awesome. Going to be awesome. I told you guys, I'm in this. I'm in this. Like I'm literally I'm not completely shutting down my construction company. We'll still be doing roofing, and I got a guy that's going to take over that part of it. But all the rest of the construction, building new buildings and stuff like that, we're done with that. We've closed out all of our accounts, finished all of our projects, and we're going 1,000% both feet in, jumping into the deep end, and creating an awesome, amazing Raiders content for the Raider Nation. So looking forward to it, man. This is it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait until the regular season gets started. It's gonna be awesome. Hold on one second. I got a guy in here. Oh, let me turn this off. Boom. No excuse needed. 103 receptions, 1,100 yards with 8 touchdowns. We got a bot in here. I got to get rid of the bot. Can't have bots in here. Where's he at? Okay, I got him. Out of here, robot. No robots here. Yeah, man. Guys, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Okay, what we got? 8 TDs, but he's supposed to be our number one when he dropped multiple passes. Can't get open. When he's double teamed. Who are you talking about? You talking about Jacoby Myers? Justin? I mean, look, if we're going to talk about Jacoby Myers only having 8 touchdowns, let's remember that we were like last place offense with Jimmy Garoppolo for half of the season and Brian Hoyer. So you can't throw that label, bruh. You can't throw that on Jacoby Myers and be like, oh, he's a bum. He's a bum. Well, everybody on the offense was a bum for the first half of the season because we had McDoofus running the team. But look at how he lit it up as soon as McDoofus was gone. And that's what I'm saying. Under the right system, he's a true number one. I'm not saying he's a superstar. I'm not saying that. Don't get me twisted, bro. I'm not saying that Jacoby Myers is, the next thing to fried rice, right? What I'm saying is he can be a number one wide receiver if Davante Adams goes down. I'm not saying he's going to break records, but what he gives you is more than other wide receivers because he's an excellent blocker and he actually likes blocking. He can do special teams and he can throw you touchdowns when least